I lied, okay? Listen, I briefly mentioned my top 5 favorite books in my end of year bullet journal setup, but then I read some published Star Wars fanfiction and my list changed. Sue me. Hi, I'm Cass, and before I actually get talking about my top 5 favorite reads, I do want to defend myself just a smidge. Now, these books might not be the best books ever written, or you might not have enjoyed them at all, but if I have good memories attached to them, they kind of automatically rank higher. I read solely for fun, so I'm not trying to nitpick certain books in aspects about characters or plot holes. I'm kind of oblivious when it comes to all that, I'll be honest. And for this particular top 5 favorite reads, I only counted books that I've read for the first time this year. And you may be thinking to yourself, but Cass, didn't you say on average you can read 85 books a year? And yes, I did say that. However, like I mentioned, this is only counting new reads, and that list is painfully small, and by painfully small, I mean 24 books out of the 80 books I've read this year. I have a problem. Okay, you don't have to tell me that I have a problem. 70% of the books I've read this year, I've already read prior. So, I'm gonna fix it, okay? 2022. Now, enough about me. Let's get into the part of the video that you actually give a shit about, which is the books. Starting in 5th place is going to be Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames. Now, this book is the 5th book in the series, although it could be considered the 4th book because the actual 4th book is more of a filler book, but then it also could be considered the 1st book because it's now following new characters and a new plot line. Which really doesn't confuse me in the slightest because I am a fan of Ranger's Apprentice, so enough said about that. This book follows the main character Nesta, which was the previous main character's sister, and then the love interest is Cassian, who is the secondary main character's brother slash best friend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mostly read this in one sitting. Yes, I read really fast, and this is almost 800 pages. And for the first 200 pages, they're rough. When you're reading about a character you despise, you know, it's hard to get through and to feel any ounce of pity towards them. However, Cassian, aka love interest like I mentioned, is a bat boy, and I have a soft spot for the Night Court's inner circle. And Cassian is one of those. Now, Nesta got her redemption arc, which within 800 pages you would really hope, because that would be a lot of pages to read if I didn't like the character. And I still don't love her, but I don't hate her. It's more of like a strong dislike. You know, there's a big difference between hate and a strong dislike. Now, it sounds like I'm just dissing on this book, but obviously it's in my top 5. I enjoyed it. I really liked how Nesta found herself some girlfriends, and their little group of 3. So cute, little sleepover scenes. Hello, yes please. And the fact that she was able to heal herself from her trauma, through herself and through leaning on her friends. I think that's really cool that she drew strength from them rather than more of the love interest, which I mean she did, but not mainly. Though to be fair, if I was going to heal my trauma and had to lean on some guy, I would absolutely pick Cassian. Cause hello, Cassian. But other than the 3 main girlies that stole my heart in this book, my favorite character was the House of Wind, who supplied Nesta with smutty books. So, enough said about that. Hi, Mom and Dad. Anyways, moving on to my 4th favorite book. It's actually a Jennifer L. Armentrout book, which is shocking because I crawled through the From Blood and Ash series. I didn't start liking it until a book and a half in. I shouldn't have to read a whole book and then half of another book to start liking the series. And the only reason that I didn't DNF it was because I was buddy reading it with my friend Lexi, who I've mentioned so much on this channel, she probably thinks I'm crazy. I hope not, I love you, Lexi. However, the book I enjoyed the most was actually the prequel, A Shadow in the Ember. Now, the main characters in this book, Ash and Sarah, so much better than Poppy and Castile. I fell in love with these characters and I love their banter, their cute ass banter in this book. I'm a huge fan of insulting people as a method of flirting. It has a very low success rate because they just think that you hate them, but it's very on brand for me, okay? I'm also a fan of stabbing love interests. I've never tried it out myself and I probably won't because I like not being in jail, but they do that in this book, and who doesn't love a good stab to the heart with a knife, you know? This book also had so many good like mic drop plot reveal moments, and one of them, Lexi had guessed while she was reading the book with me at a coffee shop. Now, I had already finished the book at this point, so I knew what happened, and she literally guessed it like spot on. And I tell you what, my 1 year of high school drama club and my 1 year of bullshitting, being nice to assholes while being a server absolutely came in handy in this very moment, because I managed to not spoil the book and convince Lexi that it's a really good theory, and that would be really cool if they reveal something like that further in the series. Yeah, so pro level acting skills up in here. Or maybe I'm just really good at lying and I shouldn't be bragging about that. Anyway, moving on. Next on the list is the published Star Wars fanfiction I was talking about earlier, the Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Now, I'm a sucker, okay? I'm a sucker for a good romance, and this was so daggum cute. Now, I know it's supposed to be like Star Wars fanfiction between Kylo and Rey. However, I have watched the new Star Wars movies. I just cannot recall any details that happened other than Han Solo and some bridge. But it was cute, and I didn't relate it to Star Wars at all. So, I don't know if that's relevant or important, but yeah. This book follows Olive, who is doing some sciencey shit at Stanford. Very smart science shit, because she's at Stanford. And her best friend wants to date one of her exes, which she's totally chill with, except for her best friend doesn't believe that she's over the ex. So in order to convince her best friend that Olive is over her crush, she decides to randomly kiss a guy in a hallway, as one has to do, obviously. However, random guy ends up being bitchy-ass emo professor boy Adam, and they end up fake dating, and I am an absolute sucker for fake dating tropes. Oh my gosh, in fact, if anyone has any other really good fake dating books, let me know. Now, are these characters drier than my face in the wintertime? Yes, okay. These characters, their personalities consist of liking pumpkin-flavored expensive Starbucks drinks, which, ew, pumpkin-flavored things, disgusting, and being an emo bitch, which, like, okay, I can relate to. We all had that phase, okay? And now the entire, like, basis of this book can feel very, like, childish. Like, really, you kiss a random guy and you're fake dating, but sometimes you just gotta, like, get into the story and ignore the fact that it's unrealistic and just enjoy the fact that it's really freaking cute, okay? This book is adorable. And I even had one of my friends reach out to me a week after I read the book, basically being like, oh my gosh, you should read this book. And I was like, girl, I already did. And then we had like a cute little back and forth moment, and I just love it. I didn't think I was gonna love it, because the second I heard it was like published Star Wars fan fiction, I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I wanna reread it so bad. But yeah, I'm on a rereading ban for next year. The next one is pretty obvious if you know like anything about me, and that is the Royal Ranger Escaped from Felice. Now, the Royal Ranger series is a spin-off series from the Main Ranger's Apprentice series, which is my favorite series of all time. And this book gave me everything I wanted and more. I have a whole video where I vlogged all my reactions, and oh my gosh, the interactions between these characters are incredible. And again, I love good dialogue, and seeing old characters interact with new characters just gives me so much joy. I just love the characters that John Flanagan has created, and the series I will always love until the day I die. So, Ranger's Apprentice, Escape from Felice. It is book 5 of the Royal Ranger series, which is a part 2 to book 4. And yeah, it just continued on the story of the Royal Ranger. I don't want to talk too long about this book because no one fucking knows it. And lastly, my favorite book I read in one sitting as well. Like, all of these books I nearly read in one sitting, other than A Shadow in the Ember, because that's a hunk of a book. But my favorite book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I read this during the summer when I was like hella sick, and this book changed my perspective on like what I thought I liked in a book. I felt all the emotions with this book. I was happy, I was sad, I was heartbroken, I was devastated. And it was a roller coaster of emotions, and I would absolutely strap myself in for another ride on that roller coaster because it was incredible. This book follows the life of Addie LaRue after she makes a deal with the devil to essentially make her immortal, except for she's cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. The concept of the book alone is what drew me in. I was like, hello, yes. And then I was met with V.E. Schwab's writing style, and oh my gosh, I fell in love. Her writing style is gorgeous. This book is just beautiful. I can't even describe it in words because I am not V.E. Schwab. I don't have a way with words like she does, okay? There is a cute side romance in this novel. However, that's not why I love it so much. I think I just relate to the main character so much, and I saw so much of myself in her, and I was like, wow, this book is making me feel things, which is what I look for in a book. I want to feel feelings because I don't usually. Just kidding, I'm a Pisces. I am overly emotional, so I feel all the feelings at all times. But these are my top 5 favorite books of this year. I really hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts about them, and hopefully I didn't babble too incoherently and fangirl too much, but you know, that's kind of on brand for me, having zero structure with, I mean, I have a script. I just went off script a lot because I just love fangirling about books. It's a personality trait, and if you want to see more of me babbling incoherently about books, you should consider subscribing. I also do bullet journaling content and some kind of lifestyle content. I don't know what I'm doing on here. I'm just making videos that I enjoy making. And if you like the video, you should like it. Comment down below. Let me know which top 5 reads you had, or your top favorite, or whatever. Anyway, that's it for the video. I'll see you in the next one. Toodles. Yeah, that was not my outro. I hope you know that, Cass. That was not your outro. You're not allowing that to be your outro. That should be my outro.